Emma Carson pressed her palm against the cool glass door of Bennett Consulting Group, her pulse quickening as she held her 7-year-old son's hand tight. Morning had barely broken, yet the weight of the day already felt crushing. "Remember our conversation, Tyler," she whispered, dropping to her knees to meet his gaze. "You must be incredibly quiet. Stay in the break room with your books and tablet. Don't bother anyone. Can you manage that for me?" Tyler nodded solemnly, his brown eyes too mature for his years. "I'll be good, Mom. I promise." Emma's throat constricted tight. At 28, she'd spent 3 years navigating single motherhood after her husband simply vanished, leaving behind a toddler and mountains of debt. She'd clawed her way from receptionist to junior accounts manager through relentless determination, yet the struggle never eased. Each day demanded perfect balance between childcare, work obligations, and the constant dread that one mistake would shatter everything. Today, that fear materialized. Her babysitter's 5:30 a.m. text, "Family emergency," sent Emma scrambling through every backup contact. Nothing. She couldn't miss work. Her supervisor already viewed her warily after last month's flu-related absence. Standing there, violating company policy by bringing Tyler, Emma prayed no one would notice or care. They reached the break room safely. Emma arranged her son's backpack, tablet loaded with educational games, and packed snack in the corner. "I'll check hourly," she promised. "Text me if you need anything." "Tyler, stay quiet. Don't disturb anyone." Tyler offered a small smile. "It's okay. I've got this." She kissed his forehead, suppressing tears, then moved to her desk. For 3 hours, peace held. Emma tackled her morning tasks, glancing at her phone every few minutes for Tyler's updates. Nothing. He was exactly as promised. At 10:00, her supervisor Linda appeared, arms crossed, expression grim. Emma's stomach plummeted. "Emma, I need you in my office now." Emma followed, mind racing through explanations. Linda's voice was ice. "Is there a child in our break room? Do you grasp how inappropriate this is? This isn't a daycare, Emma. I know it violates policy, but my babysitter had an emergency. I had no alternatives. Tyler's been perfectly quiet. I promise no disruption." "The decision is final," Linda stated coldly. "You're fired, effective immediately. This is the last straw. You've been unreliable for months, calling in sick, leaving early, now bringing your child here. We need reliability. Please." Emma choked out, "My job. I'll lose our apartment. I'll work extra, take less pay. Please don't fire me. HR will handle your termination. Collect your belongings and leave within the hour. Take your son with you." Emma returned to her desk, humiliation burning. Colleagues whispered, avoiding her gaze as she packed personal items into a box. Then voices near the elevators caught her attention. The CEO. Rare sight. Michael Bennett, founder of Bennett Consulting Group, was known for brilliance over people skills, more comfortable with spreadsheets than human interaction. Emma dismissed the commotion. Food wasn't an option. She needed Tyler, needed answers about survival next week. Her name echoed behind her. Michael Bennett stood there, younger than she'd assumed, dark hair framing sharp features softened by concern. "Yes, Mr. Bennett," she nodded numbly. "I heard about my termination." "Correct," he confirmed gently. "Where's your son now?" "In the break room. He's remained quiet all morning." "Show me." Confused, Emma guided Michael to the break room. Tyler sat cross-legged in his blue hoodie, absorbed in a space book. Michael studied the boy, then settled beside him. "What are you reading?" "Black holes," Tyler explained. "They trap light." Michael smiled. "I used to read space books at your age." Tyler's face brightened. "Saturn's my favorite, the rings." Michael nodded approvingly. Then unexpectedly he turned to Emma. "Can I share something, Tyler? When I was 7, like you, my mother brought me to her office sometimes." Emma froze. "My mother worked as a secretary at a law firm. When she couldn't afford a babysitter, she'd place me in the break room with books, trying to be invisible. One day her boss discovered us both. He fired her immediately, calling it unprofessional. Children didn't belong in workplaces. I never forgot that feeling, watching my mother weep, knowing it was my fault, knowing someone decided we weren't important enough for chances." Michael's eyes met Emma's, tears forming. "I built this company because I remembered being that child, promising myself that with power I'd ensure no one chose between job and family." He stood, voice firm. "Emma, you're not fired. In fact, I'm promoting you to senior accounts manager immediately. with a 20% raise. Emma stared, unable to process. What? Additionally, Michael declared, Bennett Consulting Group introduces an on-site child care program. Until operational, any employee facing childcare emergencies may bring children to work in supervised spaces. He surveyed the gathered colleagues. This company believes good people merit opportunities. Emma Carson exemplifies dedication despite impossible circumstances. Rather than punish humanity, we'll support it. Linda stepped forward, pale. I followed protocol, sir. Then the policy was wrong, Michael replied firmly. It transforms now. Linda will discuss your role in this mishandling. To Tyler, your mother mentioned your interest in space. Care to see my office? I have a telescope. Tyler glanced at Emma, who nodded, still stunned. Can I, Mom? Michael led Tyler toward the elevators, pausing. Emma, 1 hour. We'll finalize your position and responsibilities. And Emma, thank you for reminding me why I founded this company, for showing I'm still that child in break rooms hopping not to be seen, for granting me the chance to surpass the person who destroyed my childhood. A year later, Emma stood in Bennett Consulting's new child care center, bright, cheerful, stocked with toys, books, art supplies, staffed by 3 full-time caregivers. Tyler played freely alongside other employees' children. The program succeeded immediately. Retention soared, productivity climbed, and business magazines featured the company as progressive workplace exemplar. Yet for Emma, transformation ran deeper. She earned 2 promotions, led her own team, relocated to better housing, watched Tyler thrive academically, and forged an unexpected bond with Michael. He visited her office carrying 2 coffees. Got time for the man who saved my career. Always. Michael settled across from her, visibly nervous. I have a question, and you may decline without consequence. Emma nodded. He'd been requesting this for months, careful not to create awkwardness or power imbalances. You inspire me, Emma. Would you like dinner? Not business, just us. Emma's heart raced. Michael, are you certain? I bring complications, a child, unpredictable schedule. Poor judgment in partners. Emma interrupted gently. I understand single parenthood intimately. I know your strength, your sacrifices. That's not a complication, it's bravery. I've wanted to ask you out for months but feared pressure or awkwardness. You're brave, dedicated, and Tyler's priority. Can I buy you dinner? Emma's eyes welled. Yes, I'd love that, really. But Michael, I must emphasize Tyler always comes first. If that's unacceptable, Michael smiled. I wouldn't want it any other way. 3 years after that desperate morning outside the building, Emma stood in the same location, wearing white, clutching flowers. The rooftop ceremony featured Tyler as best man in a miniature suit. When asked for objections, Tyler declared, I object not. I want Michael as my father. Laughter mingled with tears as Michael's eyes glistened. During their first dance, Tyler tugged between them for a group hug. Later, Michael gazed at the cityscape. What occupies your thoughts? I think of my mother, wishing she could witness this. She passed during my college years, exhausted from working herself to provide opportunities. I've strived to honor her sacrifice. You have, Emma whispered. You've built a workplace where struggle and family aren't liabilities but strengths. You gifted Tyler and me a life beyond dreams. You gave me purpose too. You reminded me why this enterprise exists. The policies, the success, meaningless without helping real people. You and Tyler demonstrated that. He pulled her close. That day I witnessed your firing for bringing Tyler to work. I saw my mother, I saw myself. I saw every person judged for struggling, for humanity, for trying under impossible conditions. I recognized my power to correct injustice. You gave me that opportunity. Emma kissed him gently. We saved each other that day. Michael smiled toward Tyler, teaching children a new game. We did. The Child Care Center, born from one desperate mother and one CEO who remembered desperation, now served over 50 families. Bennett Consulting's progressive policies inspired others, proving that parents fearing judgment discovered community instead. Michael remembered being small and quiet in break rooms, carrying his mother's fear of destitution. He decided no child should feel invisible, no parent forced to choose between survival and family. Compassion wasn't business weakness, it was success's foundation. Emma entered expecting to lose everything. Instead, she discovered career respect, love understanding her struggles, and a place where motherhood became strength. Sometimes our darkest moments build our finest foundations. Sometimes being fired leads to being discovered. Sometimes the savior is someone who sees themselves in your hardship and chooses to become the help they once required. Michael had been that invisible child. Because he remembered, chose compassion over rigid rules, understood real people with real challenges deserved real opportunities, he transformed not just Emma's life but countless families. That's what happens when we recall our origins, wield power not to judge but to elevate, see our reflection in others' pain, and decide to be the support we once needed. Michael had been that break room child, invisible and fearful. Now he ensured no child would ever feel that way again. And that changed everything.